Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Avenger Watch Reviews, where we do more than just reviews. Today we have another Breitling actually, from Saltzman's Watches out of Rhode Island. Check these guys out, very generous to lend this into the channel. Very good customer service, which is why I can highly recommend them. Definitely check them out, I'll put their website down below. So what do we have here? We have the absolutely brand new Breitling Avenger. And this is indeed a pilot's watch indeed. It's actually made for the cockpit. And the reason why I say that is because you look at the risers here. Okay. So in a cockpit, you're maneuvering your wrist around, and back in the day they used to crack the crystals, so they essentially, Breitling came up with these risers here, these riser tabs, or should I say rider tabs? I keep saying rider tabs, and this actually gave the crystal a bit of protection because they are raised up. This does house the Breitling B01 movement. So we get a 70-hour power reserve, which is a heavy duty power reserve. And we do get a chronograph function. And let me give you a listen to the pushers. As you saw there, it took quite an effort to even get it started. And it had a nice snapping sound, quality feel there. And then to stop it, again, that snap, and then check the chronograph hand as it goes back. Snaps right back into place. So, as you can see, the continuous second hand is actually at the 9 o'clock position. On the right, you're going to be counting down the minutes, and on the 12 o'clock, or I'm sorry, the 6 o'clock portion of the dial will be indeed the hours counter. So I like the red tip there. It definitely adds a bit of flair, and you also get some red on the chronograph as well. Now these come in different variations, more of like the panda style in different colors. They also come with different straps. So, Breitling does give you that variety. This one here is just more of the simpler black dial with the stainless steel. They always do their bracelets right. This one, of course, has the Breitling, what they're known for, which is the angled bracelet here. It's all brushed, and we do get the new Breitling buckle. It is a dual push button, and as you can see, you have a true milled clasp. And what I'm going to do here, it's all protected because this needs to go on for sale. So I'm going to keep the protection on here and show you the quick adjust here that Breitling uses here. It's a really great system, and as you'll see, if I can get a better angle on it here, there's this little button here, or it's got some knurling to it, and you're going to press this down, as you'll see here, and you can actually adjust the bracelet. So right there is at its peak, or should I say at its longest, which you could see it's pretty significant, because check out how long that is here, right? How long the bracelet is, and you could actually just simply push it in now with your own, and then look at that. Look at the difference there. That's a really significant difference, and it's on the fly. It'd be a lot easier if I didn't have the camera here, and also if I didn't have all this wrapping to adjust this. It's a very, very simplistic and intuitive system, and I really find it just something that I wish I had on my own Breitlings, which, great segue, because today I am wearing the Breitling Navi Timer I'm wearing it on a Milano leather strap, actually. This is a beautiful chocolatey brown leather strap from Milano Straps, and they do a really nice job on their straps, so highly recommend them. But I also want to give a shout out to Strapsco. With the Strapsco straps, I actually utilize, or should I say, I have my watch on the Strapsco leather more often than not. As you can see, it's really worn in at this point, but check this out. Strapsco really does a beautiful job on their straps here, and this one here is no different. Lots of great alligator grain detail here. You've got the contrast stitching. You've got the padding. With Breitling straps, you got to pay out the nose for those straps, where you're paying under $100 for this. My Navi timer spends half of his time on this and the other half on the bracelet that it came with. So back to the Avenger here. Love the bezel. I love the fact that Breitling does stainless steel bezels. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, we're all going to scratch our bezel at one time or another. And if you get a scratch on stainless, it's not as noticeable as if you get a scratch on a painted bezel like, well, I do own this, my Tudor GMT. You put a scratch on this and man, I'm OCD with that kind of stuff, and I'm gonna do everything in my power. I'm probably gonna pay the 200 plus to get the bezel replaced just because I put a scratch on it. Whereas if I put a scratch on this, I'm not gonna notice it, and I would even attempt to just even buff it out if it bothered me that much. Love the fact that they do that. You do get a Lune pip here. Everything is gonna be obviously your Super Luminova, the best of the best. With that, bezel goes very smoothly, nice sound. When you get it going, it's very easy going, very smooth. But I have to say, like, it's just the right tightness. Like, it couldn't be even a smidge smoother, otherwise it would be too loose. And it's not too loose, but when you actually wind it like I'm doing here, it feels like it would be too loose, but the real life test is when you wear it and you rub it up against your hand, clothes, whatever the case might be, and the thing doesn't move. So kudos to Breitling for having like the absolute, they really tiptoed that line to where it's not hard, it's not too soft, it is just, I don't want to say it's just, I guess it is just right. I like the contrast, as you can see with these rider tabs, as the light reflects or refracts off of it. You get different tones with the tabs here, and I think it's really nice. Now you do get a little bit of polishing here and there. As you can see, there's a little bit of polishing on the edge here of the bezel. They do some brushing on the edges of the rider tabs as well, and you also get some polishing on the inner bezel here. Just lots of brushing here on the bezel itself. Brushing, you do get a chamfered, which the chamfered is actually, you know what, this is the first time I'm noticing this, so check this out. The chamfered is actually an indentation. They actually just did an indentation and said, okay, we're going to stop it here, and then we're going to brush it else, we're going to go this way with the brushing. So they're going to go horizontally. As you could say, there's vertical brushing on the lugs, and then you get the horizontal on the side. I like how the side tapers, by the way. Very nice taper. And you can see that this bracelet really does taper in, so your 51 millimeter lug to lug is going to be true. And you do get the B logo there. And check out the crown. The crown is kind of, I don't know, I like to say it looks like a grenade you know. It doesn't have the typical coin edging. It's actually a bit slippery. When I was winding it, I was slipping a couple times. So I wish it was a little bit grippier. And I think the way to resolve that would have just been simply to etch this design in a little bit deeper. So I just found that the ergodynamics of this, if they would have just etched it a little bit more, would have been nice for the grip. But that's just a minor gripe. Here's the winding sound. Not a lot of sound coming out of that. Very smooth. Obviously, you just push it in and you're going to screw it in just like this, and very easy to do. But as I said, you do get a little bit of slippage. Now you do get these polished pushers, which again is a nice contrast up against all this brushing that we have here. As I said, full brushing on this slanted bracelet. Bracelet's very well done, very solid. You get screw links, which you would expect from Breitling, and these links are a bit challenging because you're going to have to unscrew and the two, and then this part here will actually slide out, and there's two posts. And this by design is a really good design, because even though it's a pain in the butt to size, it actually makes the bracelet very sturdy on the wrist, where, you know, God forbid, let's just say you had a loose, let's just say you were sizing a bracelet, your jeweler sized a bracelet, and God forbid they left one of these pins or screws loose. Well, you know, even if the screw came out completely, you would not lose the bracelet. You actually have to have it in tandem. So very good design there. That way you get a much more sturdy bracelet this way. And even though, yeah, it's more of a bit of a pain to change, I don't know any other company that's doing that. So here's the Caseback, and Breitling does these Casebacks very, very nicely. Just check that out. Not getting any anti-reflective coating here. However, you get plenty of anti-reflective coating underneath and on top of the crystal. That's why you see that blue hue. That blue hue is actually reflecting the white light that I have shining on the watch. So there's not a bad angle on this watch. Like, you could always tell the time no matter whether you have it in direct sunlight or it's off. It doesn't matter. It will indeed really show off the time with no problem whatsoever. We did put this on the time graph, and I was getting plus 4 seconds at 28,800 vibrations per hour. And I want to show you a wrist shot and also show you a loom shot as well. Here it is on the wrist, and yes, it is a big boy. It is a heavy boy, and you know you are wearing this watch, and that's why I like Breitling. It's just, if you like bigger, heavier watches and you have the money to spend, here we go. Because one of the things that I'm not a fan of with this particular watch is the price tag. These are $8,200 now, and you know, for a little bit more, you could actually buy yourself a new Navitimer. The Navitimer is indeed the flagship of Breitling. So for me personally, if I'm getting my first watch and I have that kind of money, I'm going to go with the Navitimer all day long. But look, it's all about personal preference. And some people would say, hey, I don't have the extra $2,000 to pay for a Breitling Navitimer, and I like the look of the Avenger. So they go for it. And hey, that's what it's for. As I said, super luminova all over. Date window at the 6 o'clock position. And let's see where or what time it will take for the date to change over. So we'll go back around. I also would like to see if we do get the slight change of the date as we're getting closer. So far, so good. Look at that. So you get a snappy date, and it's right before. So I stopped right at 11:58, well within tolerances. But it's got that snappy date like a Rolex, like a Tudor, for instance. Very, very nice there. This does weigh 187 grams, 22 millimeter lug width here, and you are going to get a bit of a taper. We're going to taper down to, let's see, right around an 18. So 22 to an 18, not too bad. 45 joules actually in this movement here. And let's see, anything else that I missed here? Besides the fact this is a cambered sapphire, glare proofed on both sides, I think we pretty much covered it. So if you have any questions, please let me know down below. I'll do my best to answer those for you. But in the meantime, definitely check this watch out at Saltzman's Watches. They have Breitlings. They have all different types of watch brands besides Breitling. Tag is also a big one that they sell, but they also sell more affordable watches like Citizen as well. So definitely check them out. Tell them Average Joe sent you. All right, so that's all I have here on the Breitling Avenger. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next time on Average Joe Watch Reviews. God bless, my friends.